Scheduled program already in progress.
For the first 5 for LaSalle, and they have the lead. And the foul on Brickus of LaSalle. Nick Kern and Zeb Jackson come in immediately for head coach Mike Rose in his 6th season. 111 wins to only 57 losses on a 4-game winning streak currently for VCU.
And what a gift it is for VCU to have Nick Kern and Zeb Jackson coming off your bench.
And a turnover by Drame, knocked out of bounds by Johns. It'll stay with LaSalle. So a fast start for the Explorers. With 2.5 minutes gone by, they're up 5-0. Josh Nickelberry has all 5 of the Explorers' points so far. Now hoist up another 3. Long rebound to Baldwin, and they have numbers. Here's Kern against Brickus, going with the reverse. And LaSalle the rebound. VCU 0 of 4 from the field so far.
And you got to like the aggression, but you got to finish the play.
Nice bounce pass inside, and Khalil Brantley, LaSalle's leading scorer, has given the Explorers a 7-0 lead as now Brandon Johns is limping. He's been dealing with some back issues as well, and that's not a good sign for VCU with him limping. Baldwin falling away. Doesn't get the roll. DeLoach's tip-in is good for the Rams' first 2.
He's just so active on the offensive board. If he's not getting an offensive rebound, he just finds a way to get his hands on the ball to keep the ball alive. If he doesn't get it, one of his teammates have a chance as well.
He's been playing well the last 5 games for VCU, and he caused that deflection as David Shriver comes in to replace Johns. Looks like he's okay running towards the bench, but he noticeably was limping on that last offensive trip by VCU. LaSalle on a 7-2 run to start the game with Nickelberry against Kern.
That's a matchup to watch, Sean. Nick Kern has the defensive paralysis.
Yoshis for 3, and Kern the rebound.
Kern brings energy and defense for VCU. Nickelberry is complete offense for LaSalle.
The Rams have missed 7 of their first 8 shots here in this half. Nice spin move by DeLoach, and he got fouled. And there's that work that we've heard a lot from Coach Rhodes that he's been put in this offseason. He'll go to the free throw line when we come back as VCU trails by 5 to LaSalle. LaSalle leading by 5 early in the first half, 7-2, based on 3 of 7 shooting from the field. VCU struggling so far from the field, just 1 of 7. Sean Robertson, Ed Nixon, remember the 2011 Final Four team? We talked about it during the break, the fact that VCU has not played a game since last Wednesday when they defeated Navy a week and a half ago. So maybe some sluggish, still coming back from Christmas break, trying to get those legs back under them early on.
I'm an eggnog drinker, so I can imagine over Christmas break, they had some great eggnog, and they just got to, run that out of the system real quick, and we'll see where they go.
Like Coach Rose said this week, they had a couple of good practices after the break, ran out that turkey and mac and cheese. He said the players and the coaches got a good sweat. Jalen DeLoach was one of those guys. He's played well his last 5 games. He scored in double figures in all 5. 15 points per night in that stretch, shooting 66% from the field, and that's 2+ blocks in that stretch as well. Could be a leading candidate for possible player of the week in the A-10 next week.
Absolutely. He's taken the right steps to put in the right work, and now you're starting to see the fruits of his labor.
Made 1 or 2 free throws. He comes out. And Toby Lawal, the freshman from London, England, in the lineup for the first time. No changes to LaSalle's lineup after the timeout as they lead by 4. Drame guarded by Shriver. Shot clock is at 10. Drame, the baby hook. Good defense by Shriver. Zeb Jackson, the rebound for VCU.
That was excellent defense by Shriver. Didn't go for any of the fakes. Held his ground. Walled him up to the end.
Here's Shriver in the corner. Good look there by David Shriver, and a good sign for him to pull VCU to within one.
And if he can continue this rhythm of getting early shots and seeing them go through the net early, it's going to really have benefits for VCU's offense in general, having the floor more open because they have to pay attention to the deep threat.
Almost a steal forced by Baldwin. Inside is Drame against the wall and found two. Tough layup there by Fusini Drame. LaSalle back up by 3. Kern saved it before it went out of bounds to Baldwin. Shriver on the head fake against Drame. Went back in after it popped out, and Shriver scored the last 5 for VCU.
How about that?
He's showing that he can put the ball on the floor.
He's getting deep into his bag.
Here's Nickelberry for 3. Ring it up. Josh Nickelberry, his second from behind the arc, and LaSalle ahead 12-8.
And that's what he does. He fills it up. As soon as he gets it, it's going to go up. He has no fear.
Here's Zeb Jackson. Nickelberry the rebound. And they're doing this, speaking of LaSalle, without Brantley scoring a point as of yet. And he draws an offensive foul. Nick Kern stood his ground and drew the charge on Khalil Brantley.
As of late, I've been loving what Nick Kern has been bringing to the table for VCU. He's starting to find a role in his defense. Slash on the offensive end and play excellent defense. When he checks into the game, he's going to be guarding the biggest threat offensively, and he always finds his way to be in the right spot to take the charge. Great job, Nick Kern.
Watkins and DeLoach back in the lineup. Kern and Lawal takes a seat on this possession. VCU down by 4. Shriver for 3. Rebound picked up by Watkins. Goes into the lane. Missed his teardropper. Brantley the rebound. Couple of good looks for VCU. Couldn't capitalize. Brantley does on the other end for LaSalle.
Brantley just so comfortable. Smooth and patient right there.
Brantley has 4. LaSalle ahead by 6. Here's DeLoach. Got bumped and scores anyway. Tried to get the foul drawn. He couldn't get it, but scores his 5th point.
And VCU's making a point of emphasis to attack Josiah down there on the block, and they're having some success early on.
LaSalle ahead by 4. Brantley he did lose it out of bounds.
And that's one thing we spoke about is LaSalle has great guards, but how are they going to handle the pressure? If you don't play this style of play that VCU does, it's still going to be uncomfortable to you no matter how skillful you are. So I want to see as the game goes on how LaSalle's guards handles VCU's pressure.
There are different ways to prepare against VCU's press, but seeing it live is totally different. Here's DeLoach and draws the foul. Josiah hit him on the elbow and picked it up. That's LaSalle's 4th team foul already.
And
as Mamadou Ducora will come in on the next dead ball for LaSalle, as well as Hassan Drame.
And again, VCU keeps applying that pressure, attacking the rim, getting the ball down low.
DeLoach back at the free throw line, a 64% shooter this season. The team shooting just below 71%. That was 7th in the A10. We'll be talking a lot about A10 stats now throughout the course of the year. As the new season begins, or the second season begins, with A10 play.
And one thing about DeLoach, his free throw shooting is so inconsistent because sometimes he doesn't always land, or he doesn't always go straight up and straight down. He has a habit of leaning, whether it be back or whether it be sideways. His percentage will go up if he just consistently does the same thing over and over.
And you notice that frustration after he made that second free throw is like, I know what I should be doing, but it's like it doesn't always work out that way. Rams down by 3. Little two-man game by LaSalle. Here's Nickelberry in the lane, falling away from the baseline. Gets his own miss.
It's going up again.
And hits that time over Watkins. Already 6 shot attempts by Josh Nickelberry, who now is in double figures with 10.
And like I said before, he does not see a shot he doesn't like. He's going to.
Turnover by VCU. Here's Brickus on the other end, and that foul as Zeb Jackson got called for it. And that brings us to a timeout. Brickus will shoot free throws when we come back as LaSalle leads by 5. 11:41 here in the first half, and LaSalle on the road with a 5-point lead on VCU in the A-10 opener for both teams. Sean Robertson, Ed Nixon, a member of the 2011 Final Four team. And Jameer Brickus will head to the free throw line for the Explorers to shoot 2, the junior from out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. One of the top scorers in high school history in the state of Pennsylvania, 2,531 points when he was at Coatesville.
That's getting it done. 2,500 is a lot. Some people only score like 1,000, and that's an achievement.
Yeah.
But to 2,500, that means you were getting buckets since you stepped on to the school's campus.
And, of course, that is a program record at Coatesville as he made both free throws to push LaSalle's lead to 7, matching their largest lead of the game. Kern is back in, and Josh Banks sees his first action here this afternoon, along with Ace Baldwin, Brandon Johns, and DeLoach. Shot clock's at 10. Baldwin for 3.
Count it.
First field goal made by Ace Baldwin to cut the lead down to 4. Ace averaging a team best 12.3 points per game this season. Hassan Drame in for the first time for LaSalle. Brantley has it against Banks. Anwar Gill for 3. DeLoach yanks down the rebound for VCU. They can get it to within 1 if they hit a 3.
And I wonder where LaSalle's going to get their offense from now that Nickelberry is out of the offense.
Nice pass to DeLoach. Ace Baldwin, one of the leaders in the country in assists at almost 7 a night, drops a dime to DeLoach, who now has 8. Brickus picked up his dribble in front of us and found Gill. Gill against DeLoach. Brickus now has it against Banks. Decore against Kern. And Kern has it for VCU.
And great defense by Kern. Undersized right there in the matchup. However, played very strong.
Here's DeLoach. Got it blocked by Decore. And now a jump ball. Arrow will favor VCU, and they'll reset the shot clock as they put it at 19. And VCU will maintain possession. Decore, a graduate from Mali, guarding DeLoach. Here's Baldwin. And Decore the rebound.
Decore is a big body. He's a big body kid.
6'9", with some size. Here's Brickus with the reverse. Nice move.
Great hesitation move right there. Getting both defenders to respond. Opening up the lane for the reverse.
Brickus' first field goal gives LaSalle a 4-point lead. Inside 9.5 minutes for Baldwin, who misses on the 3. Gill the rebound for LaSalle. LaSalle has led throughout by as many as 7 on VCU. Gill to Brickus, left open for 3. And a 7-point lead again for LaSalle as Brickus scored his 7th.
And Ace Baldwin got caught trying to stick his nose in there, get a steal. However, when you go for a gamble, if you don't get it, sometimes you get burned.
Banks had his strip look like got hit in the nose. Here comes LaSalle. Long three by Brookus. And the rebound to Drame. An offensive rebound. Brookus again. Thought about it against Baldwin and was slowed up.
Great decision to pull it back out, try to get something started.
Banks looked like got poked in the eye as well as Gill's shot no good. Decora in an offensive rebound and finds two. A 9-point LaSalle lead as Decora scores his first basket. And now the officials stop play as Banks, I don't know if he lost the contact, but he's going to come out. As now Mike Rose changes up this lineup. Jaden Nunn in, Zeb Jackson also in, and Toby Lawal.
And it looks like he got like poked in the eye or scratched in the eye, Josh Banks.
Yeah, I thought at first it was his nose, but then he was squinting his left eye, and the officials finally stopped play when VCU got possession. Rams trail by 9 here in this first half. Here's Brandon Johns losing control. Ball on the floor. Still loose. Mad scramble. And now we've got a foul.
You got to like the fight.
Actually, it's not a foul. It's going to be a reset of the shot clock as Les Jones said the ball was kicked. And VCU will maintain possession and will get a fresh 20.
And like I said, the officials are letting these guys play today. So you're going to have to be physical with everything you do. Your cuts, when you go to the paint, you're going to have to protect the ball. And that's for VCU and for LaSalle.
Les Jones, Dwayne Gladden, and Ramey Steins, the officials this afternoon. Here is Nunn attacking the rim. Jaden Nunn's first field goal pulls VCU to within 7. That broke a 7-0 LaSalle run.
And VCU's offense has been kind of out of sorts.
Shot put up and no good by Drame.
That was good offense by LaSalle. Poor execution on the shot, however.
VCU got their stop. Can they add another basket? And they're going to get Gill with a foul. And that brings us to a timeout. 7:28 to go. LaSalle on the road, up 25-18 on VCU. LaSalle has come to Philly and leading VCU 25-18 in the A-10 opener for both teams. Sean Robertson, Ed Nixon, a member of the 2011 Final Four team, and our entire Ram Unlimited crew. Wishing you a happy new year, the final day of 2022. Going to clean the slate for 2023. We talked about games around the A-10 as the conference season is really getting into full swing. St. Louis leading St. Joseph's by 2. We got St. Bonaventure leading UMass 31-19. Frank Martin, the former coach of South Carolina, now the head coach at UMass in Richmond with an early 4-point lead on George Mason in their conference opening. We mentioned a couple of games that had already taken place earlier with Dayton getting a win earlier against Duquesne and Davidson knocking off Fordham earlier this week.
The A-10 is going to be so competitive. At first, we had all these predictions of what teams are going to be good, what teams are going to be bad. But as it's shaping up, it looks as if it's open to see who's going to win this thing.
And we also got to remember the 15th member in the conference, Loyola of Chicago.
Right.
Here's Brandon Johns drawing a foul. And that's going to go against Hassan Drame. And that'll send Johns to the line for 2 free throws. Only played 19 minutes against Navy last Wednesday and scored a season-low 2 points. He has been dealing with a back issue as he missed the Northern Illinois game because of the back.
There's only so much you can do when you have a back injury. If you have a hand injury, wrist injury, you know, you could play with the other hand possibly. You know what I mean? But your back is something that there's nothing you can do about that. It shuts everything down. That and the pinky toe, Shaq.
Yeah. pinky toe's got to be working. I don't know if the back affected that first attempt as John missed it. He's a really good free throw shooter this year for VCU at just over 83%. Made 1 of 2. He leads the team in made free throws this season. That is his 55th of the season. As LaSalle just got it over, leading by 6 inside 7 minutes in the first half. Josh Nickelberry back in for LaSalle. Brantley off a screen against Johns. Pass knocked away by Nunn. Brantley got it back. Here's Drame. Hassan Drame on the baseline. Rebound to DeLoach. Up ahead to Johns. He wanted contact, didn't get it. Nickelberry has it for LaSalle.
And again, these refs are letting them play.
DeLoach saved it to Nickelberry. Now ball on the floor. VCU and now on the run. Nunn is called for an offensive foul.
As the VCU crowd lets the officials here, they did not agree with the call. I hope we get a replay and look at. It looks like he was set. However, I'm not sure if
Mike Rose is talking that he thought Gill might have adjusted his body at the last second against Nunn, and Dwayne Gladden shook his head emphatically and said no, he was there. We'll watch it again.
No. That's a block, in my opinion. His foot was still sliding.
And Nixon says no.
I don't.
It should have been a
agree with
three-point play.
Yeah, that should have been a three-point play. Jaden Nunn was on the outside of him. But it's tricky. You know, offensive calls is tricky, and it's really tricky for referees.
Zeb Jackson gets the steal. And then they caught out of bounds to VCU. They get a clean block on that play by Anwar Gill.
And I thought it was a clean block. I think he was clean up top. Now, whether he got him on the body, I'm not sure. But I thought it was a clean block. Fans
did not like the no call, but Anwar Gill did not give up on the play and came up with a great defensive play to force VCU to reset.
And one thing to note, it's very hard to go off 2 feet, to jump off 2 feet on a fast break, because it gives the defender that little extra bit of time to recover.
Les Jones is having some worries with Jalen DeLoach and told him that's enough, because I think DeLoach didn't like that last non-call. Here is Johns inside. A lot of contact, no whistle. LaSalle the rebound with a 6-point lead. And now they get a foul on Brandon Johns.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Ed, as a former player, I know you will agree with what I got to say. It's normally you want consistency.
Absolutely.
With the officiating. If you're going to let them play all the way out, but don't go let them play and then
Yeah, I mean, but every referees officiates differently.
That's true.
And depending on the angle and who has which angle, you're going to get different calls. The game's going to be different. Now, you will hope that all the officials can be on one accord, but it's hard to do that.
Fosini Drame wearing number 11 back in for LaSalle as Gill went right to the bucket and out of bounds to LaSalle.
I have a referee that's a friend. Shout out to Brian Martin. I have a referee as a friend. He puts me on all the game and things that your players we really don't know.
Right.
And the fans we don't see from the officials. A different aspect.
Les Jones just got Anwar Gill for an offensive foul. I mean, this is a veteran group. Les Jones, Dwayne Gladden, Remy Steins. But as we say, you just want consistency. If it's going to be tight, let it be tight all the way. If not, let them play. VCU down by 6. Knacks back door to Zeb Jackson for the finish.
He dunked it and gave Gill a look like, I got your back this time.
An emphatic first basket by Jackson. VCU down by 4. Crowd getting into it on this defensive trip. Nickelberry for 3.
To quiet the crowd. And every time he gets it, he wants to score.
13 for Josh Nickelberry and 3 of 4 from behind the arc. Here's Watkins against Nickelberry, and Watkins stepped on the baseline.
Now, if I'm VCU and I'm guarding Nickelberry, I want to crowd him and make him put the ball on the ground. If you look at the majority of his points, all of them from set shots, either 1-2 and into it for a jump shot, or he's able to get his composure, give you a little jab, and go up into a shot. If that's what he wants to do, as a defender, you want to make him do something else, i.e. putting the ball on the floor.
Khalil Brantley back in for LaSalle. Only 4 points for the team's leading scorer. He came in at just under 14 a game because Josh Nickelberry has put the offensive load on his shoulders. 13 first-half points for Nickelberry, averaging just under 11 and 12 points a game, and the dunk by Decora gives LaSalle a 9-point lead. Decora now with 4. Watkins misses on the 3, and Nickelberry the rebound as he lost it. Here's Watkins inside, and they're going to get a blocking foul on Nickelberry. He was in the restricted area as Ramey Steins pointed in that semicircle to say he was in the restricted area, and Watkins will shoot 2 free throws.
Good heads-up play by Watkins by just having his eyes in the backfield, I could say, to get that steal. Because VCU needs some offense to get going right now, and they're really struggling. So at this point in time, you're going to need to use your defense to generate your offense.
LaSalle has only committed 6 turnovers in the half so far. VCU with just 5. So it's not giving extra possessions to VCU as Watkins hits his first free throw, his first point scored, as Shriver back in to replace Johns. And one thing LaSalle has limited VCU so far in this first half is not getting those extra possessions and scoring off of turnovers and compounding issues for LaSalle.
Right, I would agree. And part of that is VCU hasn't been able to get in their press. They haven't been able to effectively the pressure hasn't effectively impacted LaSalle as of yet.
Brantley had it stripped away by Baldwin.
I spoke too soon.
Nick Kern back in for VCU has it. As let's see if VCU can create more offense. Down 7, 4 minutes here in the first half. Baldwin can't finish. DeLoach does. DeLoach in double figures with 10, and VCU within 5. Here's Fusini Drame back in for VCU. Brickus also back in for LaSalle. Shot clock at 10 for Brantley. Calling for a screen. Got away with a walk. Here's Fusini Drame. And the tip in is waved off on offensive interference. Les Jones is calming Mike Rhodes down because he wanted offensive interference called earlier. Timeout on the floor. 3:22 to go, and LaSalle ahead by 5. First conference game of the season for VCU and LaSalle here at the Siegel Center, and right now the Explorers ahead by 5, 30-25. Sean Robertson, Ed Nixon, a member of the 2011 Final Four team. Want to wish you and yours a happy new year. And what better way to end 2022 and bring in the new year than right here at the Siegel Center to watch some A-10 basketball.
Absolutely. And this game has been a treat. You have so many different factors. You have the guards of LaSalle. You have the officiating and how they're doing it. And you know, I don't have a problem with it. You know, I actually enjoy when they allow the players to play their game. But VCU make an adjustment, and like we spoke to Mike Rose about, facing adversity. Everything's not going to be easy. Everything's not going to be smooth sailing all the time. You're going to find issues. You're going to find problems that you're going to come against. How do you respond?
And right now, VCU has been dealing with adversity in this first half as Shriver pulls VCU within 3. 7 in the first half for David Shriver. Comes in averaging 5.5 this season. And LaSalle, who's led throughout, is up 5. Tough shot by Brantley. Kern the rebound for VCU.
And VCU's doing a really good job of clamping down on Brantley. They're not giving him any easy looks whatsoever. And that was one of the keys to the game.
Here's Baldwin. Shriver in the corner for 3. Long rebound to Brickus. Shriver had a really good look on that last one. Now 1 of 3 from 3. Marrero. Offensive rebound to Decora. He's got double team, and Baldwin got hit in the face. And Decora's called for an offensive foul, and DeLoach is on the floor as well.
Talk about a bang-bang play. And they're probably going to go review that to see if it's going to be a regular foul or a flagrant one.
I think they will. The officials had a conference, and I think Dwayne Gladden will go to the scorer's table and do as you just said and check the replay to see whether or not that was just a common foul, or will that be a flagrant? Watch again. Gets the ball back, and then watch that left elbow. And then he got DeLoach below the belt. 2 for the price of 1 there for Decora.
This is MMA.
Without the cage. And DeLoach is now on the bench as Johns comes back in. And that was a quick trip to the scorer's table by Dwayne Gladden. And that will just be a common offensive foul on Decora, which will be his first, and that was a player control foul. So no free throws for VCU, even though that was the 9th team foul on LaSalle.
LaSalle got very lucky there. Usually when you see elbows to the face, no matter if it looks intentional or not, that's usually elevated to a
I was going to say
flagrant.
at least a flagrant 1, yeah. Guys getting the sweat and the water off the floor. And we're back to action. Inside 2.5 minutes. VCU has trailed throughout. They've never led in this first half. Here's Kern. Jackson thought about the 3. Pass deflected. Baldwin gets it back. He'll shoot for 3. Baldwin with 6 on his second 3-pointer. And VCU down by 2.
And that was a big shot for VCU. Again, with the pressure on the ball is so good for VCU.
Lucini Drame against Johns. Twisting, grinding, and scoring inside.
Great finish with the left hand.
Drame now with 4 in the lead, back to 4. Inside 90 seconds of the half. Baldwin scored the last basket for VCU over to Johns. 10 to shoot. And we've got a foul plus the basket as Brandon Johns will go to the line for a 3-point play. Lucini Drummond, sorry, would get called for the foul. I thought at first he was going to call a flop.
I thought he was going to call a flop or the charge, but then I didn't think it was a continuation.
I didn't think so either. But Dwayne Gladden on the baseline said otherwise.
Coach Rose would agree with that.
He'll take it. Because Rose was saying we got some calls that didn't go our favor in this game. Johns got harassed a lot in the paint. and didn't get a call until then. That's John's first made field goal of the half. And a chance for a three-point play. 4 for Johns, the transfer from Michigan. And it's a 1-point lead with 63 seconds to go in the half. LaSalle led by as many as 9 here in the half. Nickelberry back in for the Explorers.
And Nickelberry has been relatively quiet after having a hot start.
He's got 13 to lead the way for LaSalle. Shot clock is at 5. Hassan Drame on the baseline. Rebound to Johns. It's about a 3-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Johns with the finish. And VCU's up by 1.
Ace Baldwin's patience to just knife through the defense and let his players get set and find Brandon Johns right there for the easy dunk. Great pass from a great player.
Nice vision to Brandon Johns to give VCU the lead by 1 as Coach Dunphy used his use it or lose it timeout here in the half. And VCU has their first lead of the game with 19.1 seconds to go.
And this is pretty typical for VCU. They've had an issue with starting games and starting halves, and they allow teams to build a lead, and then they come roaring back as the second half of that half continues.
Well, we talked about it before the game. They trailed Navy 11-0 to start the game a week ago Wednesday and responded in the second half and wound up winning that game. This one, LaSalle jumped out early, led by as many as 9. And VCU kept chipping away, and eventually got to the mountaintop with a 1-point lead. Now the question is, can they hold it for another 19 seconds to go into the locker room with the lead?
If I'm LaSalle, I have to go to Nickelberry, correct?
You would think. Leading all scorers with 13. Fusini Drame has it against Johns, going right to the rim. Got his own miss and found 2 with under 10 seconds to go. And Mike Rose will use his use it or lose it timeout as it took off another almost 4 seconds to try to get that timeout with 6.6 to go in the half. LaSalle takes the lead again by 1.
And what a great attack by Drame. He used his physicality to kind of bump Johns as he went up, and the ball just happened to come right back to him. Those are always tough plays.
I was a little surprised they went with a quick shot right off the inbound. I thought they would try to save it for 1.
I don't think that's how Coach drew it up. I think Drame he broke away from the play because they struggled to get the ball in initially, and he just leaned on the side of aggression and attacked the rim.
Coach Dunphy back at his alma mater, his first season at LaSalle. Legendary coach in the Philadelphia area. All-time winningest coach in Philly Big 5 history. Inbounded to Zeb Jackson. Can they get it off? He does, and hits it. And that's how the first half will end.
What a great shot for Zeb Jackson.
Zeb Jackson, who only shoots 14.8% from 3, got a clean look from distance and beat the horn to give VCU a 2-point lead going into the half. Our halftime activities from the Siegel Center will continue after this break with the Rams leading LaSalle 38-36. Sit back with Drame, and he's called for a 3-second violation. Fosini Drame turns it over for LaSalle, only their 9th turnover of the game.
And Fosini does a really good job of banging and using his footwork to find angles to score. Brandon Johns did a really good job of holding his ground, staying big, and staying tall. Good defense.
VCU starting 5 with Baldwin, Nunn, DeLoach, Johns, and Watkins. Here's Johns with the baby hook. He's got 8 now.
Let me show you how it's done, young man.
Now, if that back's fine, watch out, because he has the potential to come up huge in the second half. He had a career-high 20 earlier this year.
And at one point in time, he was the leading scorer for VCU. I think Jalen DeLoach has taken that over now with the injuries.
Nickelberry had it stripped on the way up. It'll stay with LaSalle with 7 to shoot right now. Well, Baldwin currently still leads with 12.3 points per game, but he's only played 8 games this year due to injury. Johns is at 11-9. Watkins is at 10-7. And DeLoach still under 10. He's at 9, but he's close to getting into double figures. He's got 10 in the game so far, speaking of Jalen. 4 to shoot for Nickelberry and LaSalle. A step back 3 is short. Baldwin the rebound. Here's Watkins on the drive. Had it blocked by Fusini Drame. And here's LaSalle on the move with Khalil Brantley. Baldwin almost had a
steal.
Yes, he did. DeLoach comes up with the steal. Up ahead to Watkins, who goes behind the back. Here's Watkins in transition.
Great play by DeLoach to get that steal and save it.
DeLoach gets the steal and the assist as Jameer scores his 4th point, and VCU's ahead by 6. Here's Fusini Drame. Still can't get it inside. Gets his own miss, and now they got a foul, and that's going to be on Jaden Nunn.
And I want to give some credit to VCU because what they're doing with Nickelberry is what we spoke about earlier. They're making him put the ball on the ground. As you see, as he hoisted up that 3-point shot, he doesn't really like to play outside of his own square. So you want to make him put the ball on the floor and see if he can get some buckets that way.
Zeb Jackson is in for Nunn, who picked up his 3rd foul, and will go to the bench. Here's Brantley trying to maneuver against VCU's defense. Brickus for 3. Big shot for LaSalle to pull to within 3 as Brickus now has 10.
Great find.
Baldwin left open. Rebound goes to LaSalle. Explorers with a chance to tie if they can hit another 3. Brickus will try it. Comes up short. Here's Jackson now on the move, right to the rim.
Now that's the Zeb Jackson that we hope to get, or VCU hopes to get. Michigan transfer, highly touted recruit. He's been struggling to find his way, but this game looks like he's ready to play.
Brickus is caught near midcourt, and Dunphy calls a timeout. And that's a full timeout with 17:06 to go. VCU in the midst of a run as they lead by 5. Here at the Siegel Center, VCU leading LaSalle 44-39. With 17:06 to go here in the game. Sean Robertson, Ed Nixon, remember the 2011 Final Four team, and our entire Rams Unlimited crew. As we want to wish you and yours a happy and safe new year. And thank you for being a part of your New Year's Eve celebration.
I plan on doing some celebrating after this. Have some leftover eggnog.
I led you right into that, didn't I? Well, VCU wants to celebrate the right way as they're at 5. Rebounding after a first half in which they were trailing by as many as 9. Brantley, LaSalle's leading scorer, with just 4 points here in the game, trying to muscle it against Zeb Jackson, and Baldwin gets the steal. Behind the back to Watkins.
Beautiful play by VCU. Now that is how you run a fast break.
Oh, it looked like a walk there by Drame. Here's Nickelberry in the lane. And that breaks the run of VCU and quiets the crowd. 15 for Josh Nickelberry. He's had 7 career 20-point games at LaSalle. His career high is 26 achieved this year against Wake Forest. Baldwin had his shot blocked. Bodies hit the floor. Up ahead is Brickus, who caught it before it went out of bounds and scores. A dozen now for Brickus, and LaSalle within 3.
And that was great offense, great choice of offense by LaSalle to really get things going.
Jackson from downtown.
And we spoke about it. He only shoots 14% from 3. However, it takes time to find your rhythm. Him and Shriver are going through the same or similar situations, and they both seem to be getting their footing.
Jackson with 10 in the game. The first time he scored in double figures in his last 9 games. Brickus short on the 3. Baldwin the rebound for VCU, who lead by 6. Here's DeLoach down low. Had it blocked inside by Brantley.
Great job in timing.
Here's Nickelberry left open. Offensive rebound for LaSalle. How about Brantley, the 6'1" guard, as Nickelberry hit the floor hard, no whistle.
And again, now LaSalle starting to get some of that VCU treatment.
Shriver from distance, in and out. Brantley the rebound.
And the referees just are letting them play. That looked like football the last possession.
Brantley with a jump stop and draws a foul on Shriver, and he'll shoot free throws when we come back with 14:43 to go in the game. Is VCU up 49-43 on LaSalle. Here at the Siegel Center, 14:43 left in the game. The Rams with a 49-43 lead on LaSalle, and we're checking out some of the stats as we came back from break, and one that caught my eye is something that Coach Mike Rose had been talking about a lot, and that's limiting turnovers. Rams only had 5 turnovers so far in the game.
Which is great for them. And, you've seen them make progression in that department as the games go on. And that's part of just becoming more comfortable with the system. It has 7 new guys, everybody finding their role. So it was due to go down, and it's good to see.
He mentioned that during his media availability this week, the fact that it's still a new team. There's 7 new guys still trying to come together, and guys that are playing different roles. And I mentioned Jay Nunn specifically, a guy that came in and was going to be the 2 guard and was thrust in the point guard role when Ace Baldwin went down. As we take a look at Fran Dumfrey, the head coach of LaSalle. I mentioned the all-time winningest coach in Philly Big 5 history. And Coach Brantley has both.
And Coach Dunphy said something yesterday in regards to VCU's pressure. He mentioned how you can't relax at any point on the offensive end or it's going to be a turnover. So I like to refer to an artist, a young philosopher, in his catchphrase, they have to stay dangerous. Every time on the court, you have to stay dangerous and protect the ball when you're playing a team like VCU, who likes to generate turnovers when you get into that paint.
He said that a lot during shoot-around yesterday when they arrived in town after their win at Howard. Anwar Gill back in for LaSalle and draws a foul on Nick Kern after he did a few bumps to the sophomore out of St. Louis.
That is a tough call. I thought Gill got a little high with the forearm to the chest, and he let him play through that. So I figured whatever happened after that was routine.
Anwar Gill, the junior from out of D.C., played his high school ball at Gonzaga in the nation's capital, one of the top programs in D.C. Toby Lawal replaced by Brandon Johns. I know especially down here, when you hear of D.C. high school, you always hear of DeMatha and Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm. Definitely DeMatha.
Yeah, no question.
They produce a lot of talent that found its way to the NBA.
Led the team in steals last season as he makes 1 or 2 free throws. And the second leading assist maker for LaSalle this year, behind Khalil Brantley, who's averaging almost 4 assists a game for the Explorers and creating havoc on Josh Banks as he brought it over the timeline. Baldwin has it now with almost 10 to shoot for VCU. Shot clock is at 5 for Kern. Strong move to the basket for Nick Kern, his first 2.
Great ball movement to swing. Easy drive baseline.
Here is Gill to Nickelberry. And is called for an offensive foul.
Great job by Jameer Watkins. Stepping up, putting his body on the line for his teammates. Easy charge call.
So 2 now on Nickelberry. First team foul for LaSalle in the half. VCU with 3.
Now, if I was LaSalle, after seeing the struggle that Josh Banks had bringing the ball up the court, I would have denied Ace Baldwin the entry right there. It made it so much harder for VCU. But who am I?
Yeah, Banks had a hard time bringing it across. Here's Baldwin, tough shot in the lane. And Fusini Drame is called for the foul.
Crafty finish by Ace Baldwin there. To start off with the right, switch it to the left. Drew the contact.
Coach Rose has said pound for pound, Baldwin is probably the strongest player on the team. Got to be one of the most mentally toughest players on his roster.
Tough in general.
Yeah.
The guy has fought injury after injury after injury. He's injured now, and he still comes out and performs at a high level.
Yeah, he said his wrist nowhere near 100%. Better than during the break after the Navy game. But that's probably going to be an injury that will heal in the offseason, because he said he does not want to miss time off the court or even at practice. Here's Gill, shot air, and the rebound and putback good by Fusini Drame.
Now, if I'm guarding Gill, I'm going to give the world an Oscar flop the next time he drives. He has a habit of pushing on, getting that forearm in there. Sometimes you have to sell it for the referees.
Johns lost the ball, got it back. Watkins missed a tip, another tip. Johns got hit in the face. That basket will not count as Fusini Drame draws the foul. Johns got whacked across the face. And Drame picks up the foul. That is his 4th and becomes the first player in the danger zone. And immediately will be replaced by Hassan Drame.
Both of these teams are going to be sore after this game. Epsom salt and wine. Well, for those who are over 21.
There are a couple. And this is just the first conference game. Johns underneath. Brickets the rebound. Lost it and now we got a foul. I think they're going to call Johns. They did. His 2nd. And he's probably more upset on the fact that he missed that layup.
A bunny.
Jaden Nunn back in to replace Josh Banks, and DeLoach now will come in. And he's going to take Nick Kern's place. So now they got some size up front with Johns at 6'8", DeLoach 6'9", Watkins 6'7" up front.
And LaSalle went to a small lineup.
Explorers break the press with Brantley. Just 4 points in the game. Here's Gill. And Nickelberry lost it out of bounds.
The thing about VCU is all their bigs can move their feet. So when you go small, it doesn't have the same effect as it would if they didn't. As you can see right there, Brandon Johns matched up with Gill and was able to slide his feet. Move those puppies.
Moves those puppies. 13 turnovers for LaSalle in the game. Johns calling for it in the post against Hassan Drame. And will be rewarded with 2 free throws.
It's an evident mismatch.
And he wanted it and got it. Timeout on the floor. VCU shoots free throws when we come back as they lead by 5. VCU with a 5-point lead on LaSalle in the A-10 conference opener for both teams. And now we're going to check out the Virginia Credit Union assists of the game. And it, of course, is led by Ace Baldwin.
As you see here, Ace Baldwin gets the steal. Quick hands, hockey assist. to Zeb Jackson. Behind the back pass to Jameer Watkins for the flush. Beautiful play.
I like that, the hockey assist.
Oh, yeah.
So give Baldwin a half assist.
A half assist.
And then Zeb Jackson, the fancy assist to Jameer. So Brandon Johns at the line after he drew the foul on Drame. 2 of 3 from the stripe in the game. As we have the library voice. As soon as I said that, in that fashion, Johns missed the first free throw. Like, I wonder if they actually hear us when we're talking in this tone.
When it gets so quiet, you know, you hear a pin drop, you got to hear us.
So here's the golf voice. He missed both. Wow. Loose ball saved by Watkins. Johns has it for VCU. None for 3. A little bit short, and Brick gets the rebound.
Ace Baldwin was jumping to his highest heights trying to get his hands on the ball there.
Nice deflection by DeLoach, which results in a turnover. DeLoach picks up another steal. Baldwin got caught in the lane and out of bounds to VCU.
How many times have you seen somebody hit the floor in this game?
A lot.
It's been a lot. I don't want to keep bringing up Epsom salt because they don't pay me, but somebody's going to be making a trip to Kroger.
There's another one. Ed Nixon is product dropping here. Product name dropping. Here's none. Shriver back in for VCU along with Zeb Jackson, under 10 to shoot for the Rams. Jackson a step back 3. Rebound picked up by Decora of LaSalle, who are within 5, could get it to within 2 if they can hit a 3. Hassan Drame lost it, got it back. Here's Decora in the lane against DeLoach, and DeLoach the rebound. 7 boards for the sophomore from out of Savannah, Georgia.
VCU is really flying around on the defensive end.
2-man game, lob inside to DeLoach, got forced out by Decora. And that'll be team foul number 5 on LaSalle, the first on Decora.
I tell you what, when you're playing with Ace Baldwin, you better always expect to get the ball when you're big and you pick and roll. Because he may find you early, he may find you at the right time, but he also may find you late. So you have to always be aware.
And you know that for first-hand experience because you played with a pretty good point guard, Joey Rodriguez.
Again, another shout-out to Joey Rodriguez. One of the reasons I came to VCU, by the way.
2 Floridians coming up north to play together. He recruited you.
Yeah, absolutely. We played AAU against each other for a long time. Then we played each other in the state championship our senior years.
Baldwin stepped out of bounds. LaSalle gets it back. Turnover number 10 for the Rams in the game. And something interesting that Coach Rose talked about this morning in shoot-around was he's not always worried about the number of turnovers. It was the percentage of turnovers that caused him some concern.
Absolutely. And I think it all works hand in hand. Take care of the ball.
Brantley with a move. Came off the rim. Decora with the miss and draws a foul. For a minute there, it looked like that layup was going to go in by Brantley.
Yeah.
But
that could have changed things.
Decora is rewarded with 2 free throws as that foul is going to go against Toby Lawal.
And Brantley hasn't really been able to get it going. You know, that was the first clean look he's had in a very long time.
Young man averaging almost 14 points a night has been held in check. 6 points on only 5 shot attempts. Decora with 2 free throws. He shoots 75% this season from the stripe as Lawal comes out to be replaced by DeLoach. LaSalle near the bottom of the A-10 in free throw percentage coming into this afternoon, shooting just 68%. Decorah makes 1 of 2. 4-point lead for VCU inside 10 minutes. Brantley had it deflected, and we've got an offensive foul called on Jaden Nunn. That is 4 on Jaden.
And that's unfortunate for VCU. He hasn't been able to get any rhythm, anything going this half or this whole game with consistent foul trouble.
He's only played about 9 minutes today, scored 2 points, and has 4 fouls, and he's going to sit for a while on VCU's bench. LaSalle up down 4 with a chance to get it to within 1 on a 3-point shot. Here's Brantley against Zeb Jackson with under 10 to shoot. Brantley with a tough shot that rolls in.
And if he has to hit those, with VCU, you have to live with that. That's a nifty move, contested shot, good D, better offense.
LaSalle within 2, 53-51. Coming up on 9 minutes to go. A clean look from Baldwin from distance. His first make from behind the arc. Baldwin now with 9, and VCU back in front by 5.
Timely.
Here's Brantley again to the basket. Second made field goal in a row.
And he's starting to feel it.
Khalil Brantley now in double figures with 10. LaSalle back down by 3. Baldwin on the other end. That rolls into the backcourt. And Hassan Drami finds Brantley underneath. No. Nickelberry an offensive rebound, and he won't go. Shriver the rebound.
What an odd possession that was.
Jackson's pass a little too low. Brantley has it for LaSalle. And knocked away by DeLoach.
And this is truly a heavyweight fight.
We got some tired guys on the floor, too.
I found it very funny that Shriver just ran out of turbo.
But he was banging against 3 LaSalle guys underneath.
He was. He did good.
And did not give up a point. That was big. Decorah has it against DeLoach. And DeLoach almost had another steal. That brings us to the under 8 media timeout. LaSalle hanging tough, trailing 3 to VCU. VCU and LaSalle opening up A-10 play here this afternoon at the Siegel Center. Rams leading by 3 over LaSalle. One of several games to open up A-10 action here today. Just up the road in Fairfax, Richmond with a 1-point lead on George Mason. St. Louis has already defeated St. Joe's 83-78. St. Bonaventure having their way with UMass 76-52. Also Davidson and Duquesne with wins earlier today. Here LaSalle, who led by as many as 9 in the first half, now trailing by 3, 56-53, but a chance to tie on this possession if they can hit a 3.
And VCU has been fighting hard, but the momentum is slowly starting to swing in LaSalle's favor.
Josh Nickelberry, who had 13 in the first half, just 2 after intermission. Brantley's jumper's too strong. Rebound to Baldwin. Baldwin, Jackson, Johns, Watkins, and DeLoach on the floor for VCU. Here's Jackson over Brantley, and Jackson now with 12.
Everything looks better when you're left-handed. That was a smooth stroke by Zeb Jackson.
He's getting close to his career high. He did that against Pitt. Scored 16 against the Panthers in that win up at Barclays earlier this season. VCU leading by 5, coming up on 7 minutes to go in regulation. Here's Brickus, stripped away by Baldwin. He's got Jackson to his left. Contact made, no whistle, and Jackson scores. Back the other way for Brantley.
This pace is crazy.
Brickus for three. Did not get the home bounce. Jackson the rebound. Baldwin grimacing just a bit after that last trip. And he'll shoot for three. Ring it up.
It's always amusing to me when players, they're so hurt till the ball's in their hands and they get a shot to go.
It's like, I think I'm fine right now.
Never mind, I'm good.
Coach Dunphy calls a timeout to try to stop this run. A 7-0 VCU run in the last 69 seconds, spearheaded by Ace Baldwin.
He's such a tough competitor on both ends of the court. He gets the steal, slows the game up, walks him down through the pick and roll action. They go under, steps into the shot, knocks it down.
And just before that shot, he showed a little grimace, like something was hurt, maybe one of the wrists that has been banged up this year. In fact, one of them, the left one, broken.
And it looks as if the trainer's working on that wrist as we speak, the left wrist.
But he looked fine there. Remember, right after he had the injury and had the surgery, the game against Vanderbilt, he achieved a career high score 28 in that game against the Commodores and then win.
Again, that's a testament to his toughness. The kid is physically tough and mentally tough. And that's why he's one of the leaders for VCU.
He's leading the way with Jackson, both with 14 points. It's the 31st career game in which Baldwin has scored in double figures since joining VCU. And this is coming off a season-low 3 points against Navy last Wednesday.
And Ace is one of those guards that, he really doesn't have to score to impact the game. And it's just fortunate for VCU that he can score the ball as well.
Well, the rest of the numbers, he got 5 assists, 4 steals, 4 boards, 4 of 6 from 3. For a guy that was coming in right at 50% from behind the arc.
He's having a game.
VCU with their largest lead now at 10 as we're coming up on 6 minutes to go. Here is Brantley right to the rim, and that breaks the scoring drought of nearly 3 minutes for the Explorers. Brantley now with an even dozen. Jaden Nunn back in for VCU. Remember, he has 4 fouls for the Rams. Johns to DeLoach inside. Shot clock is under 10 against Ducora. The jump hook is good by Jaden DeLoach, who now has 12.
And the coaching staff got fired up with that strong move by Jalen DeLoach.
6 straight games in which DeLoach has scored in double figures. Before this year, he only had 1 game in which he achieved more than 10 points. Here's Brantley, a nice spin on Jackson, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with LaSalle with 6 to shoot.
And I like this matchup between Jackson and Brantley. They're really going at each other right now.
Brantley will inbound. He's got 12 so far.
Terrible
Three-pointer
shot
by Hassan Drame is no good.
Terrible shot. That will drive a coach crazy. You're down on the road. The time is not on your side. You need to get quality shots. That was not one.
And we're inside money time here in half number 2. Watkins hoists up a 3. Rebound stripped away by Brandon Johns. And here's Watkins, who had it blocked, and DeLoach will follow it up. DeLoach now with 14.
Coach Rose wanted Watkins to pull that out. I guess things worked out that time. However, the time is on your side. Take your time, get a good shot. Matter of fact, make it great.
Here's Brickus against Watkins. Shot clock is at 5 for Drame. Nickelberry hoist up the three with the shot clock winding down.
And the crowd actually got Nickelberry to rush that shot. He had plenty of time to gather himself and shoot a normal shot. But with the crowd counting down, it finally worked.
It was about at 3 seconds. But like you said, he had enough time to get that feet set. Here's Baldwin with his feet set. Missed on the three. DeLoach a double-double with his 10th board.
And the physicality of this game has just been something to see. As of late in the years, physicality has been stripped from basketball piece by piece. So it's good to see a classic physical game like this.
Jackson with a great move, but he couldn't get it to go in. And they're going to get Watkins with a bump. And that brings us to our final immediate timeout. VCU slowly pulling away as they're up by 12. A look at the VCU huddle as right now the Rams are ahead by 12, 67-55. Pulling away in this second half as they've outscored LaSalle 29-19, and they've done it in the paint.
Absolutely. Coach Rose puts an emphasis on this team to attack the rim, assault the rim. And they're doing a great job of that this half. And it leads to open shots for your Strivers, your Ace Baldwins, your Jameer Watkins. But it starts inside, and then you work your way out.
Jalen DeLoach with a double-double, 14 and 11 boards. Johns has 8 and 4 rebounds. Ace Baldwin, 14 points, hits 4 3-pointers today. Zeb Jackson, awfully aggressive. In fact, he's taken the third most shots in the game for VCU. He's 6 of 10 with 14 points this afternoon. 2 shy of his career high in a VCU uniform. Brickus at the line for LaSalle, hits the first free throw.
And that's great for VCU to have somebody like Zeb Jackson who can come off the bench and fill it up like this.
3 players with 14 for VCU. Brickus with 13. Now 14. Josh Nickelberry leading the way with 15. And Brantley came on strong here in this half with 12. 10-point lead. And a turnover by VCU.
And that was just an ill-advised pass by Jameer. Again, time is on your side. You have the lead. Slow it down. No need to force anything. Take your time, run your offense, get a good shot.
Well, Brickus is being Baldwin's shadow right now, not allowing him to get the ball. Here's Watkins going glass for 2.
I guess, whenever in doubt, lean on the side of aggressive.
Watkins now with 8. Lead is at 12. Coming up on 2.5 minutes to go. Nickelberry.
Smooth.
He's going to keep shooting until the game hits 0-0. Almost a steal. It is a steal. Here's Gill inside. No. Ball saved by Baldwin. Ball was still talking to Les Jones, and now a timeout.
And good call by Coach Rose to settle the troops, let them know exactly what you're looking to give. Don't force any offense that isn't necessary, and play solid defense. That's how you close out a game like this. 10-point lead. Don't beat yourself, basically.
I'm going to tell you what, that was a veteran move by Les Jones, the official, who was running up the sideline. As we take a look at the upcoming slate of games for VCU, it starts with their first road trip in the conference at Duquesne on Wednesday. That game will be seen on Masson, and then back here at home with Davidson, who won the regular season championship last year. Then you got Loyola Chicago, their first trip out there to Chicago. Then games at Dayton, home game with UMass, and then the big one, the Capital City Classic against Richmond on January 20th. And then George Mason will come here on January 25th. LaSalle's upcoming games will have matchups with Rhode Island, UMass, Fordham. The games with St. Joe's and St. Louis. Then a road trip to Davidson on January 24th. And then they'll end their series with Rhode Island before even February hit on January 28th. But as I was talking about with Les Jones being the veteran official that he is, he gave Ace Baldwin a long leash as he was going up the floor. Nice feed to Kern in the basket.
And what I've learned about Nick Kern, he is really good, almost D-Wade-like when it comes to cutting and finding the open space.
Brantley lost it, saved by Nickelberry. Here's Kern out in transition. And scores as Kern got hit in the face, it looked like, by Hassan Drame. Kern with back-to-back baskets, now with 6.
And LaSalle has to do a good job of not being discouraged right here. Crazier things have happened.
Brantley not going away for LaSalle as he scores. And Coach Dunphy calls a timeout, 30-second timeout, as LaSalle is within 12, but back to that last play by Kern.
And let's look.
I thought he got hit in the face.
Definitely got a little bit of a bump.
That could have been an and one there for Nick Kern. But it appears that VCU will extend their winning streak to 5 games before facing Keith Dambrot and those feisty Dukes of Duquesne.
And, Duquesne, I circled that on my calendar as soon as I seen the schedule. Trey Clark, a former Ram, left here on weird circumstances, and now he gets a return and play VCU. I'm looking forward to him. He's played very, very well for Duquesne. He's made highlights. He's been on SportsCenter Top 10 this year. I definitely want to see the matchup between him and Ace Baldwin.
You would think they had a few rounds in practice, but it'll be a little different when the lights get bright. When those two will meet, that'll be Wednesday night in Pittsburgh on the campus of Duquesne. And a steal off the inbound, and Nickelberry scores as Zeb Jackson hits the floor. LaSalle not going away, down 8. And now they come with full court pressure. Watkins breaks the press and finds Johns with the finish.
And that's a great job by Watkins, and I feared that he would get out of control. However, you do have to attack the press. You can't wait and sit back.
Here's Drame from the elbow. And DeLoach, another rebound with 12 in the game. And with under a minute to go, the crowd beginning to rise and voice their approval on VCU's 5th straight win.
And it's crazy how time can change everything.
Baldwin for 3. His 5th from downtown. 17 for Ace. A 15-point lead for VCU as Fusini Drame misses it, and VCU doesn't have to get a shot off. With under 20 seconds to go, and now Hassan Drame just ran him over. And now DeLoach getting into the face of Hassan Drame on that last trip.
And now I don't know if you noticed, but DeLoach and Drame have been chirping at each other for basically all.
I was going to say it seemed
half.
like all game.
All game.
But definitely in the second half.
And then to see Ace Baldwin get taken out like that unnecessarily at this point in the game.
And all three officials will go to the scores table to check out this replay. I'm going to assume it's going to be some type of flagrant, as he clearly ran over Baldwin, no play on the ball. And the big thing was DeLoach was not in the game. He came off the bench and said a few words to Drame, and that's going to be something that he
was in the game. He had to be in the game. He was in the game. He just got subbed out. He just got subbed out.
I beg your pardon. Because I saw him coming off. I thought he was coming off the bench. Mike Rhodes immediately, going back to his playing days, pulls him off the floor and onto the bench. I thought he was off the bench, but he was on the floor at that point in time.
And Coach Rhodes did the right thing by grabbing him, because you don't want something at this point, like at this juncture, the game's already won.
Yep.
Unless there's a 10-point basket, then the game's already won. You don't want to get any type of altercation that could lead to DeLoach missing any extra time.
Well, looking back at that replay, and I didn't see it from that angle, as DeLoach and Drame were exchanging Happy New Year greetings to one another. Drame actually did make a play on the ball. He did reach in to try to steal the ball. Didn't need to at that point. But he actually did try to make a play on the ball. So now the question is going to be, do they view that as a flagrant? See, there it is right there. He was making a play, so I don't know if that's just going to be called a common foul or if they view it as unnecessary and call it a flagrant one.
I mean, technically it is unnecessary because of the score. But, I mean, it's a little chippy. For real, honestly, it should be no call. I mean, you call the foul, but just a little chirping. Nobody pushed anybody. Let it be.
Dwayne Gladden, Les Jones, Ramey Steins. As you can see, they're at the right to the right of VCU's bench. And I believe one of the officials will come to our side to explain what has gone down. They have gone to the scores table and the PA announcer to let them know what they saw on the replay. They actually give Drame a technical foul. So now Les Jones is going to come over and let Ed Nixon know what happened. 17.8 seconds to go. VCU with a 15-point lead as Les Jones gives us the explanation.
Common foul on the floor, and DeLoach gets teched up for running into Drame's face.
So no flagrant on Hassan Drame. And the tech actually went against DeLoach on that play.
Now, if you're Ace Baldwin, do you like your teammate doing that for you?
I would say yes, because I mean, DeLoach knows the importance of Ace Baldwin, and we were talking about this yesterday at shoot around. When VCU has Baldwin in the lineup, they've averaged almost 71 points a game and shoot nearly 48% from the field. That's 31 games, not counting tonight or this afternoon. When he's not in the lineup, and that's 13 games, VCU averages just over 59 points a game, and they shoot just below 40% from the field. So we always say one man can't make a difference or one player can't make a difference. Baldwin makes a world of difference in this lineup as another steal by LaSalle, and Brickus scores on the other end to pull to within 11. And now a technical foul is going to be called on Drame for deflecting the inbounds pass.
This is a game that should have been over by now.
No question.
This is a game that should be over by now. However, with the chippiness and, you know, the back and forth throughout the game, I understand it. But with all that madness, only 5 seconds have run off the clock.
Yeah. 12.1. We just saw that last replay on the tech on Hassan Drame, and I bet you VCU fans are probably saying, well, he should have got it on the last year when he ran over Ace Baldwin. But Drame got the tech for the deflection of the inbounds pass.
Sticking his hand over the line.
Yep.
That's a big no-no.
Can't do that. So Baldwin will shoot 2 free throws as he made both. He's a nearly 73% shooter from the line. 19 points for Baldwin today. And as long as they cross half court, this game should be over.
I won't let my imagination even think that something else will go on.
LaSalle won't quit, and they get another steal, and the ball is tipped to Zeb Jackson. And LaSalle will, I won't say not foul, as they get it across, and VCU wins it.
What an entertaining game, to say the least.
I'm going to tell you one thing. You do not want to play LaSalle in conference play this year, because they're going to go until the last possible second as VCU wins their 5th in a row, 80-67 the final. Back to wrap it up from the Siegel Center on Masson and on ESPN+.